Welcome to part 3 of how to set up an accounting system for an equine business. Today we're talking about invoicing. Last time we were in the barn, we created the stall chart, as well as the people's lessons. And so now we're going to put this information into QuickBooks. If you've never seen QuickBooks before, there are all sorts of YouTube videos that you can look up to show you what QuickBooks is all about, which is a little bit out of the scope of this video. This video in particular is going to be applying QuickBooks to an equestrian business. And specifically right now we're talking about invoicing. Okay, so this is QuickBooks and this is the home screen. This right here, if you can see my mouse moving, this is, it says home. And if I want to click over to create invoice, I can create invoice. This is accounts receivable aging, and then this is receive payments. So these are the 4 screens we're going to work with right now. All right, we're going to make a couple of quick fake invoices. And so here is all of the horses' names. And here are the names of people who took riding lessons. So let's say we're going to bill Luke, Stephen, and George. And let's say Luke owns Hammy. Sorry, my writing's really messy. And then Stephen owns Marv. And then George is on lesson horses. So he's not going to get billed board for a horse. He's just going to get billed for riding lessons. Okay, now I'm going to invoice Luke for his lessons and for indoor board for Hammy. I'd put his name as Luke Fake and then press tab over. And now I'm going to put indoor board. And for fun, I'm going to say our indoor board is $5. And now I'm going to bill him for his riding lessons. So I'm going to pick the item called riding lesson revenue. And he had 4 lessons. So I'm going to write 4 right there. And then I'm going to write the dates of his riding lessons right here. So November 5th, 12th, 19, and 26. And then each of these are riding lessons. Let's call them $5 each. And now I am ready to bill him. So I noticed, okay, I double check. Yep, 1 horse board, 4 lessons, and it came to a whopping total of $26.25. The GST gets automatically billed. So whatever tax you have in your region, you would just set it up in QuickBooks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of this so that I can send this to Luke. You can for sure run a report and do all of your invoices that way. I find just taking a screenshot of the invoice off of QuickBooks is so much faster. So that's what I personally do. However, if somebody asks for like a real invoice with your GST number, or that's Canadian, your business number, all of that stuff would be set up on your real invoices. But most of my clients don't write off their horses, so the screenshot just works fine for them. Now I'm going to press save. But before I do, I can go ahead and change the date to December 1st if that's what I want. Or you can just change the date to whatever you want. Okay, so then I'm going to press save and new. Now on to the next invoice. We're going to invoice Stephen and Marv. I'm not wearing my glasses, I can't see anything. Then reading glasses are so fun when you get old. Steven had lessons on kind of the same dates. So this could be an easy invoice to make. So what I could do, because the invoices are on the same date, I can press find and then find the invoice I just made. So I'll do that, press find, and I press find. Oh, it says it's past due. And then I can go ahead and create a copy. And so now off of this, because it's the exact same invoice that Luke had, now I can write a new name. Okay, so we picked the name Stephen Fake. And now I can press save and new. And I just saved myself time because they had the exact same thing on their invoices. So just by using that find and then copy, it can save you a bit of time. Last invoice I'm going to make for this example is George. George is on lesson horses and he does not have to pay for board. He just has to pay for his riding lessons. So oh, there you go. I made it super simple for myself. 5, 12, 19, and 26. Okay, so I picked George Fake. He does not have board because he just pays riding lessons. So, what is it? Riding. Okay, so we picked riding lesson revenue. He has 4 of them. And I'm going to put the dates. And because he's on a lesson horse, I'm not going to say his rate. I'm going to say his rate is $10 a lesson. And so his invoice came to $42. So it's $40 plus his GST of $2. I'm going to press save and new now. Okay, so once I have created an invoice for somebody, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to highlight the horse's name that I just invoiced, as well as their lessons that I've invoiced. So we create an invoice for Luke and Hammy, so that's good. And then Stephen and Marv, so I'm gonna highlight Marv, and then Stephen's lessons. And then now we're going to highlight George lessons, George. And then at the end, if there's anything not highlighted, I know I haven't created the invoice for that horse or for those riding lessons. So that is another little check that I make sure that I didn't forget anybody. But when I don't do that, sometimes I do forget. All right, now I'm going to click over to AR aging summary. And so then those are my fake invoices, and it's saying that 1 to 30 days I should be collecting $94.50. So this report lets me know who still owes money. So none of these people have fake paid yet, and so it's saying I should be expecting this amount of money this month. Okay, so now let's go ahead and say George pays. So I'm going to go over to receive payments. Now, a lot of people will set up automatic payment into their bank accounts. I personally don't. Like if somebody e-transfers me, I actually will manually do it. And then as I manually record their payment, I will write in QuickBooks that they have paid. So let's go ahead, George Fake. And I'm going to put a check mark right here. And then I'm going to say that George paid on the 6th. And then at the bottom here, I'm going to say, yes, he did pay the full $42. I'm going to press save and new. And then I'm going to click back over into my AR summary, and it says this report needs to be refreshed. I'm going to click on that. And then now I know this is the amount that's still outstanding of people having to pay. So it's super, super handy to know who has left to pay and who's already paid you. And so that is one reason why I don't set up automatic deposit. I want to make sure that I'm collecting from everybody. By manually doing it, it's just one more check in my system to make sure that the business stays running. Okay, so that's it for today. The next time we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about how to write expenses into QuickBooks.